Ooh. Welcome to the loyalty stream. Self-loyalty. Guidance is internal now. T minus 212. It's all up to you. Guidance is internal. It's all up to you. No outside force. Nobody outside of you. Not your parents, not your mom, not your dad, not your auntie, not your nobody that's your guardian. Nobody that's got claim to your power. Nobody that's got claim to you. Nobody that has claim to anything that is you has any power over anything that you do. Even your parents. They say a father should never have to bury a child. A parent should never have to bury a child. So if you look at it that way, you're going to be here longer than your parents. So no matter what you choose, if you choose to listen to them for character development, that's fine. Guidance in how to maneuver in the world, how to handle worldly situations and worldly objectives and worldly challenges. Yes, of course, your elders is the first you should reach to, because they were here longer than you, so they've seen the world change as you're seeing the world change, as we're seeing the world change, as things are happening right now. It happened this same way 20 years ago, just like how they say energy is just transformed. So it's different energies, different time, same shit, same scenarios, same things changing, same world activities, same truth speakers, same truth seekers, same truth tellers, same whistleblowers. The same people that is here today were here 20 years ago. We're here 20 years before that. We're here 20 years before that, right? So as the world changes and as things continue to develop and grow, you have to do the same. So your guidance has to be internal. Your loyalty, and I'm speaking from experience, right? I'm loyal, and they say that, sometimes you're loyal to a fault because, people can take advantage of you, people can, betray you and all that stuff. But if you're not putting yourself in a situation where your loyalty will be tested, you won't know how loyal you are to yourself. I wouldn't know how loyal I am to myself if I wasn't put in predicaments and scenarios and situations where I wasn't able to trust the people around me. So because I was put in those situations, and I was in those situations, some situations I put myself in, I was able to see that the trust is within me. It's not something that I can put on somebody else. It's not something that I can instill into somebody else. It's not something that I can teach someone how to be loyal, right? They have to go through situations where they can't trust the people that they're around, the environment, the situations, or whatever you want to put as a title. They have to be in those situations to realize that they trust themselves and they can't put the trust on somebody else. Same situation. If you want to incorporate it into relationships and love and happiness, I was talking the other day about depression, the silent killer of black men. Um, just lost my train of thought so quick. How the hell I lose my train of thought? Anyway, it's gonna come back. When I was talking about depression, the silent killer of black men, I was talking about how the things that I was doing, I did all of that while being depressed. put yourself in situations. They're gonna have to go through those situations. You can't put love and happy. All right, cool. I said depression is not a choice, but happiness is a choice, right? And since depression and the things that you're going through and the situations that you're born into aren't the things that you can change, aren't the things that you can choose, what you do within that situation, what you do within that time, what you do within that world that you're born into or you're created into. I like to think that I was created because I came from a C-section birth, not the natural birth, not the natural flow or the natural birth of a woman. So I used to always say that God was literally had his hands in my mom's stomach pulling me out the womb, right? Since that's where the baby is being developed in the womb, and I had to get cut open. I saw it not as doctors cutting my mom open, but as angels and God cutting my mother's stomach open and then bringing me out, right? As if God was uh, creating something to bring to this world. That's what I that's what I that's what I told myself to help with not having my mother, right? Because if it was just, my father will always tell me my mother's dead. I don't believe in death, right? And if you believe in death, I would say that death is just the beginning. But that's what I told myself, and that's the story that I went with. It made me comfortable. It felt true because just because of the way that it happened and the poetry of Macbeth and the Iliad and the all the things that I was reading. It related to how I came into this world. So since depression is not a choice and happiness is the choice, you can't put anything, and let's use that scenario with everything, right? If it's not already within you, you won't be able to find it from somebody else. I used to tell people this all the time. Stop looking for you in anybody else. You will never find you in anyone else. You will never find you in anyone else because there is no other you. There's only one of you, right? And speaking for myself, I say that there's only one of me, but there's a lot of people that want to be like everybody else. And I only want to be the best version of myself. So I learn myself. I study myself, my emotions, my desires, right? My loves and my dislikes. Because I don't hate anything. There's no hate in my heart. There's only love. And when there's only love, there is so much exterior energy which can feel like hate because it doesn't feel like the love that is within. It feels like something that you have to, like those puzzle pieces when they try to fit the puzzle pieces together and they move them because they don't fit. And then you meet someone that you almost fit, but then you have to break off a piece of yourself or chisel off a piece of yourself or change something that is internally you that makes you you, and then you fit. You should never have to do that. You should never have to change for something. You should only change because it's what you desire. People have worldly desires. I have spiritual desires, right? Like my desire is to have a spiritual baby, not to just be in a regular three-dimensional relationship where, it's the same shit. If it's going to be the same shit as everybody else has dealt with and everybody else has gone through and everybody else has experienced, I'd rather just be with myself. I'd rather pay for it. I'd rather become a father that adopts children because the change is within me. The change is not me looking for the perfect relationship or looking for the perfect scenario or looking for the perfect outcome. I can only find that within myself. And if I find it within myself, I'm not going to look for it outside. I might be, I might admire the beauty that is the creation of God. I might admire the things that's out there in the world. I might admire it to an extent. I won't trade my soul for whatever that is, right? It might look good, appealing to the eye. It might be some eye candy, right? Because I'm a man. I like to look at things, and if it looks good or if it's beautiful, I don't care if I don't care if I'm in a relationship or not. If I see a beautiful woman, I'm gonna check that beautiful woman out, and I might even tell my girl, I think that woman is beautiful, right? Because I'm not gonna be with an ugly person that's not gonna be able to witness or appreciate the love or the beauty of something else or somebody else, right? Because you have females that, you know, they're they're in some just flew in my face. They're in relationships with celebrities and people that they don't even know, but they believe within themselves that that's the person that they're in a relationship with. Why? Because in their heart and in them, that will be the perfect relationship for them. And so they're not going within themselves to be that for themselves. They're trying to find it outside. So even if they have a favorite celebrity that they like, when they meet that person or they get to know that person on a personal spiritual level, that affection, that appreciation, that fantasy goes away, because the person that they're infatuated with is an implant that was put there, and they use specific selling points and specific talking points to appeal to you. That's why I say I come on here naked. I don't give a fuck what nobody think about me, and I don't want you to care what anybody think about you either. That's why you got to be within. You got to have so much self loyalty that nothing can convince you to be loyal or to be faithful. You would already have that in you because you're so loyal to yourself, right? That you would rather stand against the world. As long as you know the truth, anything or anybody else that is a lie or is any figment of a lie, you have that shield, that spear, or that sword ready all the time, because nothing can impenetrate and impregnate that truth that's within you unless you allow it. 212, it's all up to you. 313, it's just us, you and me. I was listening to the song Sending My Love by Adele. A lot of indie music got me through a lot of depressive states. Like I had to take my friend off of a rope after he hung himself, and I didn't have anybody that was there that would be able to understand what I was going through. The only person that I feel like can understand what I was going through is my aunt Jane, because my uncle Bones, my cousin's father, rest his soul, he hung himself. Like Sagittarians, we have this this curse of depression. We have this curse of being a wounded person in some way, and using all that pain and using that same wound to heal others. I always said that I would never take my life. Even when I didn't want to live anymore, I wasn't going to take my life. I told God to take this motherfucker because I didn't give myself this life. I didn't give birth to myself. I didn't meet my mother, take my mother on trips, spoil her, give her a daughter, and then give her a son. I didn't do that. So this wasn't the life that I gave to myself, right? But the things that I do with the life that I have is all that stuff that I'm talking about, that self-loyalty. It's all that stuff that's within. That's why I say I don't expect anything but what I can give and what I can do. Because I don't expect anything from you. I expect everything from me. I don't want anything from you. I don't. Matter of fact, I don't need anything from you. But what I want is for you to choose to be fearless and to be so loyal with yourself that they can't even come up to you and say, oh, you got to have faith of a mustard seed. You already got that. They can't even come up to you and use one scripture from the Bible because you already know that. They can't use none of that religion or that spiritual bullshit or that somebody trying to steal your destiny or any of that sabotage bullshit or you having um what is it, imposter syndrome. They can't do none of that because you already know within. You already know within. So they can't come to you with no sweet talk. They can't tell you no sweet lies like Maris Hammond. Maris Hammond's song called Sweet Lies, right? You fell for one of them sweet lies, the kind you don't really want to believe in. But when your heart is in doubt and you're feeling weak, you can fall for one of those sweet lies, right? And the song is about a woman falling for a player, right? Because he's playing on the fact that she don't see herself, so she wouldn't be able to use that intuition to realize, oh, this is just a player. He used the same talk with every female. He used the same talk with everybody he around. He always got stories. He always got something going on, but he's always in the same spot. You realize that a lot of people, they may seem like they have so much going on, but they're always in the same spot. They don't ever own land. They don't even own the house that they claim that they showing off and honeypotting you with. They telling you them sweet lies because they're banking on the fact that what I was just talking about earlier about the woman being infatuated with the celebrity. They're banking on you not knowing yourself within, so they can use all of those strategic talking points and all of those golden trinkets to make you believe and make you think that that's what you want or that's what you need. And you don't need it. You might want it, but you don't need it because they don't even own it. They don't even have it. They don't even have it. Whatever they do have was bestowed upon them by the world. So I wouldn't allow myself to be in competition because I already am myself. I'm not trying to win anything. I've already won at life. If I died today and this is my final night, I'm going to be all right because I know exactly where I'm going. Sending my love to y'all. You got to keep your head up, your back straight, posture, and behavior. Those are all important, right? Because if your back isn't straight, you're hunched over. Now your lungs, you can't barely breathe, and your brain is going to be deprived of oxygen. You need to have, and also it helps with your confidence. When you work out, the next time you go to the gym, do some push-ups, do some pull-ups, test the strength of your back. A lot of people they can look bulky and heavy and strong as shit. They get hit one time, they will fold like Amazon mail because they're not really strong. They're just adding weight to themselves. When you go to the gym, I used to do this shit. I used to think that if I lift more weight, I'm gonna be stronger. When I lift more weight, I got heavier. I looked heavier. I didn't look strong because you can't tell what strength looks like, right? Because it's not a physical thing, it's an internal thing. I said the first thing that I said, guidance is internal. Beerus, if y'all, all my anime fans, all my Dragon Ball Z, manga fans, right? When Goku saw Beerus, they didn't think Beerus was the one that had all the power. They thought Whis was the one that had all the power because he was dressed, he had the staff. Beerus had his shirt off, skinny as hell, scrawny, but he's the most powerful being in the whole this whole universe. And he didn't look like nothing. He didn't look like nothing to anybody that isn't already secured within. But when Goku realized he couldn't sense his power, then he realized, okay, I gotta fight this dude. I want to challenge him. I want to take him on. Right? Keep in mind, this that you can incorporate this and you can put this with everything and anything and anybody, right? So boom, they think that you ain't got it. They think you ain't nothing. So they want to challenge you. He challenged Beerus. He went all the way to Super Saiyan 3, his strongest form, went power, full power. They'll come at you with their full power because they're going to expect that you don't know yourself within. They're going to expect that your guidance isn't internal. They're going to expect that you're weak. They're going to expect that because you don't look heavy. You don't look like weight, that you don't hold weight. All right. So Goku went full force at Beerus. Beerus took him out in 2 blows. He could have took him out in one, but the first blow was like that first touch that I was talking to y'all about, right? The first touch to make sure he put him in that position so he can hit him and not hurt him, but show him you ain't fucking with me. Michael Jackson had a soft voice, but look how powerful the impact was. I'm very soft spoken because my voice is deep. So if I want to be loud or have my voice travel, I got to expand my diaphragm. I got to have a proper posture and I got to have proper breath intake because I used to be an asthmatic, but now I'm no more, right? But certain things like smoking that can trigger it because it's depriving your lungs of air. So I don't have to shout or be loud. If I speak, you're going to be able to hear my voice. When they tell stories about how Jesus was speaking to the masses, right? He didn't have a microphone in his hand, did he? No. But his voice was so soft. It had a frequency, that noise. You could hear it through noise. They were on the beach. All the waves was crashing on the shore. And Jesus was still speaking in his inside voice. And everybody heard him. I love speaking in my inside voice. Because when I used to go back and forth yelling, the loudest person is not the person that's right. And I understood that in junior high school. Just because you're loud doesn't mean you're right. You have to actually be right. And then when I found out and I went into the arguments knowing that I was right and knowing my truth, right? Because I love to work on me. I love to develop me. Like I said, I don't want to be anybody. I want to be the best version of me. So I'm always in the lab. I'm always cooking something up. I'm always doing internal work because the guidance is internal. I'm at all times, and all times I am in connection with the source. So I'm always doing the internal work. I don't ever want to be like anybody else. So when I found out the truth and I found my truth, it was easy for me to not be loud, not have to argue, and to let people think just because they were continuing on at the mouth and they were just going on, even if they were making jokes, poking fun, and I wasn't saying nothing, they thought that they won. They thought that they won. They thought they won. But they knew. They knew. They were hoping I didn't know. That's why when you're quiet, when you stay to yourself, when you when you hone in that power and you're not everywhere in everybody's face doing it, all this, that, and the third, you're so much more stronger, which makes you anxious and antsy and feel like you have ants in your pants, like my father used to say, or we say in the Caribbean. Feel like you have ants in your pants. You want to do this, you want to do that, because you have all that energy within. Nothing outside is making you want to do any of that. That all is coming from within. That's why you have to know thyself. That's why you have to know guidance is internal. I even speak this in my songs. People want to say, oh, I'm this and I'm that. I'm this and I'm that. I'm an artist. I make music. I'm me. I just happen to rap. Where you from? Heaven. Where you from? Heaven. After reading Macbeth, I wasn't born of a woman. God cut my mother's stomach open and picked me up out the womb. Shout out to everybody that came from a C-section birth. Shout out to every mother that survived the C-section birth, because my mother didn't survive, but I did. And since I survived, it's imperative that I live. You got to claim your power, and I claim mine. I never changed because the world made me. I changed because I wanted to fit into the world. I had to realize that this little light of mine is actually the sun, and I don't fit in this world. Too fucking big. Too big for your bridges. You ever heard that? I'm too big for my bridges. So I don't fit in. I stand out. They say this is the dress code. I'm gonna come dressed in the dress code, but I'm gonna look different than everybody else in that motherfucker. You're gonna see me. I'm gonna be seen, even when I don't want to be seen. I remember telling y'all about the times where I didn't want to be bothered, and the first person to come bother me was my nephews. And I loved it, because that's what happens, right? When you're not feeling okay, when you're not feeling good, your spirit team moves mountains. Your spirit team moves mountains when you're not feeling good. And when you want to stay in that specific emotion, or you want to stay in that mindset or that mentality, that's when you block your blessings. Like, I see a lot of people, I don't even, I stay far away from anybody that has anything negative or bad to say about people that didn't hurt them. Like, when women talk about men ain't crap, or men ain't this, or men ain't that, when those specific women have those talking points, block. I don't even want to see that type of content, because that is, I'm wearing my headphones 90% of the time. I'm listening to music 90% of the time. So if I'm seeing that and I'm hearing that in my ears, it's going straight to my motherfucking brain. And it's gonna make me feel uncomfortable, because I come from a woman, and I know a lot of men that have ultimate respect for women, but we're not naive or weak in the sense of having to be competitive, right? The minute you try to be manly to me, bruh, I'm gonna leave your bitch ass. I'm gonna ignore your bitch ass. You got all that motherfucking testosterone and you're a female? No, you need to get fucked. I forgot. I be having high school children watching my show. Hey, excuse my French. Tell your teacher I'm in France. So you in France with me. We're not cussing. We just using some obscene language to get our point across. When a woman has a lot of energy and she's masculine, or she's having to change her own oil, or having to do the things that, if she would be kind to a man, he would do it for nothing. If she would be herself, he would do it for nothing. If she would realize what she really need is some humping, he would do it for nothing. And there would be a lot less masculine energy in these females, because they will realize, I really need to stop using this rose, because not helping and is not compensating for the actual thing. Like I know a sex doll or any type of anything outside of the actual thing is nothing in comparison. That's why I say guidance is internal, right? So anything outside of that, anything outside of the natural forces of life is nothing to me. The world got nothing on me. Fuck King Kong. That's my father. The world is bigger than King Kong, and the world ain't got nothing on you. The world ain't got nothing on me. And I know if you're watching this, the world ain't got nothing on you. Because I ain't inspiring weak motherfuckers. I ain't inspiring complacent and blind motherfuckers. I ain't blind, so I can't lead you into stupidity. I ain't blind, so it ain't the blind leading the blind. It's the warrior. It's the teacher. It's the evening star, teaching all the sons and all the sister sons how to shine just like the sun until that shine is done or until kingdom come. They say that we hellish. Well, shit, I'm going to raise hell until it's heaven. Because that's where I hail from. So I move with the kingdom. You can't war with us. And if you're fake, then you know you can't walk with us. And if your shit don't stink, then you know you can't sit with us. I'm going to leave this off with a prayer. Heaven, move through each and one of you that come across this video, come across this podcast. Move through you because you are all mountains and only heaven moves mountains. And I pray that you be moved closer to your dreams and further away from your demise. I am Mclish. I salute to you. Good evening, my evening stars. The elephants in the room. Oh, before I go, I've been taking videos, working on some content to add to the music. And look at that. It's night. It's pitch black out here. Y'all know what that is, right? Y'all see that? Just came to say hello and to let me know, to let you know that y'all got some good luck.